All right, guys, we're here with Javier Rodriguez, the new undefeated state champion, state of Florida, 160 pounds, 51 wins, 0 losses. I came to meet Javi back in July 2010. Called the school looking for some private wrestling instruction, and pleased to say he's one of the most remarkable young men, the most remarkable athlete that I've coached, especially at the high school level. So Javi, congrats on your title. Very proud of you, man, and just gonna kind of talk about the emotions when I met you, what we were able to do for you, what all your coaches were able to do for you, and what it's meant to you.
Sure.
So when I met you back in July of 2010, what do you think some of your holes in your game were?
Well, back in July, definitely a lot different wrestler now. Back then, still had a lot of work to do on top. My neutral wasn't as fluent, and those two things really were mixed. I mean, I had a lot of problems with people grabbing out on me. Definitely fixed that, and it was also kind of a mental block for me that you kind of got me over, and you kind of helped me realize that it wasn't even just a physical, but it was a mental problem too, and I got over all those, built my confidence up, built my wrestling technique up, and all that stuff together really helped me to do what I did this year.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm very proud of you, and I always say it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes multiple coaches to coach a state champion. So in no way, shape, or form do I want to take away from what you achieved and what your other coaches were instrumental in giving you. Coach Turner and Coach Grossi, Coach Bertolone, those guys worked extremely hard as well. But that's exactly, I remember when you walked in, it was, all right, what do you need to work? And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help fill any goals that you wanted to achieve. And I think that's where all this starts. It's reviewing the film, looking at the film, saying, okay, what can we fix here? What can we do here? So fast forwarding a little bit, it was awesome that year. We trained the whole summer, and then you went and took a 4th in the state. So tell us about that.
Taking 4th in the state.
As a junior, right?
As a junior.
Awesome.
Had a good season. That year I was 50-5. Went in, took 3rd at regionals, lost in the semis by a point. It's tough kid. Me and him had gone back and forth, and lost in the semis by 2 to the kid that won, and then I lost to that same kid. I lost to at regionals again, and it was. I was proud of what I had done, but I hurt, and I knew that I wanted to chase that title hard, and so I was going to come back here and go back to the school and put in the work necessary all summer long, all season long, to get my goal, to achieve my goals this season.
Well, I have a little confession to make. After we haven't talked about this prior to this interview, but after you placed 4th your junior year, I had some inside information that you guys were moving up to 2A. So I knew that the competition was going to be changing slightly. So that's when I decided to invest the money and get reflex wrestling up at the Disney Duels. You wrestled your heart out at that tournament, but I think that's probably where you suffered some of your biggest defeats prior to your run. I mean, as I said, 51-0 is pretty impressive. But summer wrestlers make winter champs. So I said that's one thing that I saw different as a coach. I said if there's one thing we could really do for you and for my other nephew Radley, who's your teammate, was to get you guys up at that Disney Duels tournament so you could see some national competition. And you'd already won a national title at the Brute Nationals, but I knew that somehow that all-star division at the Disney Duels was going to show you some good looks. Tell us about that experience, what that was like.
Wrestling at the all-star division was a great experience, not just for me, but for all 14 of the wrestlers on our team. For me personally, I won some tough matches and took some tough losses as well, and all of that helped me grow, helped me find new mistakes I was making, things that maybe I would get away with otherwise, and fix them. And I know, speaking for me and for the team, that all the kids on that team came back and improved tremendously that summer. It was an eye-opener for a lot of us.
Right.
I mean, I knew that there was a higher level, and I knew I wanted to chase it, but for a lot of kids who were maybe being a little lazier that summer, really opened their eyes, and they started working hard, started putting in those extra runs, you know, putting in that extra time after practice, before practice, and it made a difference for all of us being able to see that other level of wrestling.
And that's the interesting thing, is that you look at that ability to be in this position as a school and as a club, that we can mix athletes from all different high schools. I think every person on that 14-man lineup improved dramatically, and a lot of state placers came out of that group. But I'm proud of you, man. You're the only state champion that came out of that group. You know, tell us a little bit about the actual matches. I know that you went 4-4 in that tournament, and just for the people watching, I mean, the All-Star division at the Disney Duels, we wrestled. What did we come out of the box? We wrestled Akron, Ohio Wrestling Club.
One of the top ranks.
Top ranked in the country. You know, a lot of those kids are in college wrestling right now. South Dakota, correct?
Yeah,
North Dakota.
Michigan.
Texas, twice. Rest of them in the wrestling background. And North Carolina. I mean, we were just an amazing amount of competition. And you know, I think when you go to camps, you see certain looks, but when you compete live against these guys, it's got to be different, right?
Definitely different. I mean, first match was against Akron, and had a pretty tough kid, state runner-up from Ohio, and lost a major decision, 8-point loss. That match really woke me up for the tournament, and I think I really got killed first period, started coming back second. I mean, obviously I was down by too many points already, but really opened my eyes. That kid was tough. He came out hard off the whistle, and that was something I saw in that whole team, and that was something I wanted to add coming into the season. I wanted to come out hard from the whistle, and I also knew I had the conditioning to keep it going through all 6 periods, but I wanted to come out hard on the whistle. That whole team did it, and they were killing at Disney Duels. That was something I really saw, really liked a lot about that team.
You know, one thing, you know, fast forwarding again, is that my style of coaching is that, you know, I don't mind, you know, I got a lot of heat for that. I got a lot of heat for entering us into the All-Star division. It was more expensive, you know, and I don't want to do an infomercial for the Disney Duels, but it was more expensive than the community division. I think we could have kept it to 2 high schools. But for your sake and for Radley's sake, it's like, you know what? If we go up there and we get our butts kicked 8 matches in a row, which some of them went 0-8, at least it's going to be a scale down when we go to our own state championship. So, you know, fast forwarding again, I remember you specifically and your father coming and saying, we want him to work as Greco all year long, and throwing that dummy. And you know, so tell us a little bit about the heat that I put on you as far as that goes, as far as the focus on the Greco over the summer, and how that may or may not have helped you.
I think that the Greco was a great addition to my wrestling. Really felt real comfortable with underhooks. Got a lot of, shots off the underhooks, but I got real comfortable working underhooks, putting my hips into people, adding that extra dimension to my wrestling. And, you know, I was always like takedowns, always like shots, but adding that extra, being able to go upper body people, feeling comfortable in those kind of positions. You know, never got thrown this year. I had a couple matches with some throwers, and I was very confident in the fact that I could definitely, you know, knew how to counter all the different throws. And every summer, all day in summer, went out here, threw that dummy. Definitely helped that, just, you know.
Well, wait a minute, you made me buy a new dummy. I told you to, but tell us about that day. Remember that day?
Yeah, back arch the dummy and split it. So,
I knew we were in trouble there. I didn't want to wrestle Javi too much after that. He split a 100-pound dummy right in half by back arching him. So you did. You made me buy a new dummy. You made me eat my words.
I remember.
And so a lot of work over the summer. You're 6-hour days. Most days you're working hard. All right. So fast forward one last time. Tell us about your state experience. It didn't even seem like any of those matches were close. Not to disrespect opponents. You know that. With a humble heart, I say that. But so yeah, just tell us kind of how it went down. How are you feeling going in?
Well, obviously at state, you know, I know everyone who makes it there is a competitor. anyone who's qualified for state is a competitor, and everyone obviously wants to be on that podium, and everyone wants to be on top of that podium. So I knew it was going to be a fight every match. I went in there focused, knowing that I'd put in the work. That was one thing that I always thought about, that I'd put in more work than my opponents, and I felt confident in that fact. So I went out there, first match, picked up a tech second period, and second match, picked up a tech on the third period. Two tough kids, but just went. And my style, I like to put the pressure on and just keep it on. Try to overwhelm my opponents. Keep it on for 6 minutes. And third match was definitely one that I had thought about. I know he had thought about probably even more. It was fourth time we had met at semifinals and finals of several tournaments. He was a tough kid.
Wow.
I mean, he would dominate all his way up until our match. And I knew he had studied my film a lot. Afterwards, he admitted to me that he had studied my film like crazy.
So you definitely know.
And he was a real competitor. Won that match 11-4. Stay focused. He was tough on top. He had a little trouble on bottom, but got out, won the match on my feet, really. And then my last match, kid a lot taller than me, had some real heavy hips, really battled for every single takedown on that match, and went through and won, and it felt unreal almost. Finishing up the task.
So I hear right away that you win the state tournament without having a single takedown scored against you.
Sure.
So your first match is, what was the score?
17-2.
17-2, technical fall. Quarterfinals?
I don't remember the score on that one.
But
another technical third period.
Another technical fall in the third period, and then your semifinals
11-4.
match. 11-4. And finals?
11-5.
11-5. That's pretty darn impressive. That's a way to win a state tournament if you could write it down in a book. Well, I'm super proud of you, man. I think that you've got a tremendous temperament. I think there's many great things ahead of you. Just to close up this interview, I want to tell anyone viewing, Javi's got an application in for West Point, and I know that this human being is going to have great things ahead of him no matter what he chooses to do. And it's been an absolute honor. Get a little choked up talking about it, but it's been an absolute honor to have a young man like this walk into my wrestling room and to be an example for others to follow, and feel extremely fortunate to have had the time that I had with him. And this is always the point that's very sad, is that the show must go on, so to say. So going forward, we got some preparation to do for nationals in Virginia Beach, but after that, you're off to bigger and better things. And I know that he'll remember us. I know he'll be in touch with us and coming in when he can. But it's been an absolute honor, my friend, my brother. Let's look at that state medal one last time for the viewers. There it is, man. That's what it's all about. He's put his heart and soul into it. And this doesn't measure the success of the man. I think success is earning the respect of respected men. And I'm happy to say that you've definitely earned my respect, Javi, and keep pushing forward, brother. Thank you very much, man. Thanks, guys.